Hi friends, I'm Rebecca. Welcome to Squintillions. Today I'm going to talk about trust. Who do you trust when it comes to money matters? Last night I was reading The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, and I was particularly struck by a passage that was talking about investment funds. I'm going to read that passage from the book right now. A book published at the end of 1969 provided profiles of 19 men who are tops at the demanding game of managing billions of dollars of other people's money. The summary told us further that they are young. Some earn more than $1 million a year. They are a new financial breed. They all have a total fascination with the market and a spectacular knack for coming up with winners. There's a little more information explaining how, from one year to the next, their performances varied. And then Graham goes on to say, bright, energetic people, usually quite young, have promised to perform miracles with other people's money since time immemorial. They have usually been able to do it for a while, or at least to appear to have done it, and they have inevitably brought losses to their public in the end. These words were written nearly 50 years ago, and yet they still ring true. When I look at the landscape of YouTube and the number of people who have created YouTube channels regarding personal finance and have suggested that they have some idea of how to invest in the stock market, I'm slightly wary that there are vulnerable people who are watching these videos hoping to make money, who are listening to these self-proclaimed financial gurus of YouTube and following advice into risky stocks, not questioning whether the companies they're investing in have a secure future, and just playing the popularity game. I advise everyone watching to be careful of YouTube channels that claim to be having some sort of expertise on investing, especially because they are doing well in the current market. The stock market has been going up for the last few years, and despite the correction at the end of 2018, it's just been growing. Anyone who has their hat in the ring should be doing well. Please be careful about investing in companies that seem to be hot and trendy, such as Tesla. It is a pretty volatile stock right now, as we've seen from the price differences over the past year. For me, this is not the smart way to invest your money, particularly if you are saving for a large lifetime goal. I am honestly not here to help anyone try to get rich quickly. I want to help people grow their money smartly with low to moderate risk. When you're watching financial videos on YouTube, I want you to not only evaluate the information that you're hearing in the video, but to remember to consider the source. What is this person's background? Do they know what they're talking about? Have they done the research? Or are they just repeating something that they've heard on another financial YouTube channel? If you're reading an article online, you can go down into the comments and look at what other people are saying about the original article. Are most of them in agreement, or are there a lot of people saying, this author doesn't know what he's talking about, or this author has been saying this for the last 5 years and this terrible thing never happened? So always remember to consider the source of the information along with the actual information. You hear a tip about a company that's doing well or a fund that you should be invested in, make sure you are looking that information up. Go to multiple sources. Read about what different people from different backgrounds are saying about that company before you invest in it yourself. Look at the financial documents that are available. Consider what the Morningstar ratings are. Find sources that you trust and stick with them. Also, you'll find on YouTube that there are different approaches to investing, and the best thing for you to do is find the presenter who most closely matches your ideals and goals. If you don't mind being incredibly risky with your money and you want to try a more speculative type of investment, that is up to you and it's ultimately your decision, but keep in mind the risk that you are going into. As someone who's well into the middle part of my life, I am not as risky with investing. I prefer to invest in large cap companies. I prefer to invest in dividend ETFs. I prefer to invest in REITs that pay good dividends. I recommend, if you're a beginner, investing in broad-based index funds, such as those that track the S&P 500, or even a total stock market fund. I'm also a huge proponent of diversification, and that's one of the things that you can see through the Grow Your Dough Challenge that I did last year. Learning how to use different platforms and diversify your investments to help reduce risk. At the end of this month, I'm going to be wrapping up the Grow Your Dough Challenge from 2019. I started a little bit late. Most of my accounts were opened at the end of January last year. So at the end of January, I'll be taking the final numbers. So I will have had a full 12 months of investment to consider for the final results. So that is something to look forward to on the channel. And finally, at the end of 2019, I opened a Webull account because I was tired of hearing Graham constantly say that I needed to do it. And finally, I'm like, okay, Graham, I'll do it. So I got my 2 free stocks, which happened to be Sprint, which is the free stock I got when I opened Robinhood. And the other one I hadn't heard of before is Investors Bancorp, and their ticker is ISBC. That was valued right around $12. Also, Webull was offering a cash bonus if you deposited more than $2,000. So I will be getting $30 as a cash bonus. And then I've set up some limit orders to go into my Webull account, and that will be another video when I go over all of those. And then there is the TD Ameritrade account that I opened last year with the intention of making charitable contributions based on the dividends that I earned. So I will be waiting to get my 1099 INT form to see how much I've earned in dividends. And then I will be donating half of the amount to the nonprofit organizations of my choice. And I'll be glad to make a video and share all of that information with you when I do that. So there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up in 2020. Remember to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you would like to follow my journey in personal finance and personal growth here on Squintillions.